So I think that if you can, but it's so easy. I mean, I'm not going to give you names of, but it's so easy just to pull it up on your phone.
Yeah, roadmap to deviance.
No, they already know anyway. But
it's
so,
not like
it's not like it's news to them.
Well, that's the thing. If you're involved in any of these deviant things, you just know it's a whole nother world. You know, it's if you're involved in anything, you know where your outlet is for whatever you get from your thing. If you like to watch videos of people blowing things up, you know all the best blow up channels.
Right.
And it's the same thing with this, but it's such a different side of the coin that you just don't think about it. If you're a whatever normal person is, you don't think about it, and you shouldn't, and it should be shocking and appalling to you. But as much as there are cat videos, there are bad videos too.
Sure.
You know, and this facilitates it, and it makes it easier for people to distribute them and to share access to them and everything.
And what we need to do is to I feel that there needs to be stricter laws against distribution. I know that some judges look at it that it's for the kids that are in the movies that are being victimized, that for them it's a victimless crime, but it's not. And they're really, I think it's time, and I'm hoping that the R.A.D.A.R project helps to facilitate this. But I think it's time to relook or to look at the laws that we have now, and the world has changed, and to maybe take into consideration some changes. And I think that there needs to be education of the district attorney, Mr. Steele, did it with the Cosby case. He brought in someone to explain to the jury about sexual assault, and that was brilliant. And I think that there needs to be an education of juries, and also I think the whole, not so much the DAs, the ADAs that I had the pleasure of working with, but the judges, there just needs to be more education about the whole topic.
I had a judge on here, and we were talking about one of his disappointments was that, or he acknowledged that the law has not grown to accommodate the diversity of technology.
Yeah.
And there's huge holes in it because of technology, you know, where we go with distribution and things like you were talking. And I think that, you know, if you find people for having, not to say you're letting the people that do it off, but if you make it so they can't get the product out there, that kind of cuts them off to a degree. You know, if you make it so they can't distribute it, so that other people can't get it easily. But I just feel like that we're so creative in our deviance as a species. We'll just find another way. We always find another way.
Yeah, I think that's true. You know, Ashton Kutcher, I don't know if you've heard of what he does, but it's really pretty cool. He has it's called Thorn. I don't know what the acronym is, but what he does is he has people sit on computers and they go into Backpage and places like that, and they take the ads down. They literally take the ads down, so that where young women, where people are being trafficked, they're being sex trafficked. So he goes and he takes the ad down, and so that means they have to go back and put it up or put it someplace else. But he that's what he does. That's what his group does. And it's wonderful. And I think that it's amazing that he's done this.
How does he take the ads down?
I don't know. I don't know how he does it. I don't know because technologically that's not my forte, but somehow he has, and he works with people apparently in Silicon Valley, and he has, I don't know if they're volunteers, but this is what they do, and they short circuit these ads so that these people aren't trafficked, which is so great. And it would be so fun to have Ashton Kutcher money so that I could do something like that with R.A.D.A.R.
Well, it's always good to hear. I mean, I don't understand, and apparently he's smarter than he is on the screen, and it makes it harder to dislike him now that you told me that story. That it's good to hear whenever anybody with any money is using it for something other than to buy, gold Porsches or whatever.
Right. I agree.
That kind of renews your faith a little.
It does. It does.
And
shout out to Ashton.
Yeah. No, that's good. And it's good when anybody is doing anything to help. Anybody's volunteering or starting an organization or starting a project like yours or whatever. But I don't want to give credit to the wealthy because that kind of pains me to do that. But I think it might be harder if you had a lot of money to come back and decide you wanted to help something like that instead of just, flying around on your jet, or whatever. It's nice to know that you can still have a nice grounded project that you support.
Well, everyone's different, right? I took a class a few years ago at Villanova, and in one of the little exercises, you had to list what was very important to you in your life. And of course, I put family first, and maybe my cat's second. I don't know, but money was very high. And my classmates, which were a little bit younger than me, they were all different ages. The younger classmates were surprised, and they were they were appalled by that. And I said, but you don't understand. If you had all the money in the world, just think of all the good things that you could do. And that is how I feel about this project.
If the money didn't change you.
Oh, it would,
because it's another test of character.
The only thing that the money would change is that instead of going first to kids and getting them into counseling, the next thing to go back to domestic violence is there would be a place, because another huge reason that people don't leave their abuser is because they don't want to leave their pets.
Okay.
And so the next thing that the money would go to would be to build shelters so that we could foster victims' pets until they were able to find housing where they could bring their dog or their cat or their bunny or their parrot.
Because so many shelters that take in women.
Friendly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
we had that with disasters where we actually years ago began the thing we're pressing for. We have to find a place for the pets because people will not leave burned out husk of houses because of their pets.
Right.
And
that would be us.
You said one is family, two is pets. So pets are just a family slip up away from moving to number one on a given day. It's that and money wouldn't change it. You're saying?
No, absolutely not. And anybody who knows me knows that that's true.
So you're saying right now you get $20 million.
Just think of how many amazingly good things.
No, you got to go. There's laundry that needs to be done. You got to do the laundry.
I'd help with the laundry.
You'd help with the laundry.
Sure, I would. I'm the person that I want to get down in the weeds. I want to be hands-on, and I want to be with
laundry.
Sure, I'll do it. Sure.
I got $20 million. I would help, but I could tell you, I would never do laundry again. I've gotten all I can from the experience. I would have a situation where I would never have to sniff food in the fridge again. I would know that everything is fresh and ready to go. I would have some kind of food sniffer.
That's a bad
or something
thing.
like that.
That's true. That is bad.
And dishes, I would never do dishes. You're telling me if you had $20 million, you would do dishes?
But the $20 million wouldn't go to me. It would be going to.
It's going to you
the
to use how you want to use it for them.
But that's what I would use it for. I would. That's
not $19 million.
No, the other $1 million would be to build luxurious little shelters for the pets.
It's funny with the domestic violence that there is not only pets, but there's difficulty with when people have a bunch of children and placing them without splitting up, and people will stay because they're pets, because they're children, and there's not enough housing.
There isn't.
There isn't. And then there's also the privacy of it, because when you take the person away, the abuser becomes angrier sometimes, and they stalk them. And the technology, well, we talked about this twice on the show, the technology enables people to be stalked a lot easier.
Yep.
And I says back in the old days, if you wanted to, if there was a girl in school and you wanted to find out more about her, well, you had to put some legwork in. You had to talk to people. You had to find, I don't know, she lives over that way somewhere. I don't know. You had to go through everything. And a phone number. You didn't get a phone number that way. And you had to go through and do all your recon. Now you can sit at a computer in 10 minutes and know intimate details on people. Yeah. It's frightening.
It is frightening.
And stalkers can just be so much laser. We had, I've seen different things where they're putting tracking devices on the children, and the children, during their shared custody, and the children go back and tracking devices tell them right where the person is, and it's just people's ability to be deviant and creepy is just remarkable. I
worked with a woman who was, she had a tracker. He put it on her car, and she would be driving down the road, and all of a sudden, oh, there he was. He'd be right behind her. He tortured her. He did, and she kept working with the police. I initially met her through getting a protection from abuse order, and I worked with her for probably 2 years, and it was ongoing. We were going back to court a lot because he was just ignoring the order and following her, harassing her any way that he could. And so then it became, a whole criminal thing. And he went to jail. He did go to jail for a little while, and he got out and he started right up again.
See, I don't understand why when that happens, why there isn't a thing you can just pretty much, like a metal detector, but an RF detector or whatever, that you just drive the car through, and your case is escalated to level, and you take your vehicle there and you go through and you walk through it, and it picks up something and they find his tracking device.
That's a great idea.
And
she had nice police officers that found it on her car.
But it takes work. It takes work, and it could be hidden. They've gotten so small, and they find that, and then what happens is somebody falls and then catches him, and then they put it together. But it seems there's so many outs for the people that do the domestic violence where, oh, I didn't do it, or I didn't understand, or I was confused, or that's not mine, or blah, blah, blah. And it is completely illegal to put a tracking device on a vehicle that you don't have ownership of, or at least partial ownership, and it's fuzzy. But it is illegal, Even if you're on the side of the angels, you can't do that.
Right.
The laws protect people from that, good and bad. But it just seems like that we're woefully under-equipped to deal with that, and that's just as dangerous as anything else, because it's leading right to there. And there should be, in each county, there should be some place where you can make an appointment with the district attorney's office, and maybe you paid $20 to drive your car through.
Yeah, it would be great. That's a great idea. I just came up with something.
I have lots of great ideas and do nothing with them. Nothing.
That's where you're going to make the 20 million or the 25 million.
Yeah, my not doing laundry money, my not doing laundry fortune. I'll give my old clothes to the homeless. All the homeless will be walking around looking like Johnny Cash. That'll be cheery. That'll be cheery. I think it's a great idea, and it's a great use of technology.